Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
We will get started here in just a couple minutes. We'll give people some time to hop on. If anybody is experiencing any issues or isn't able to hear, please let us know in the chat. Or feel free to raise your hand if you have access to the hand raising function, and I can unmute you. Hi, Sean. I'm glad you guys were able to join. I saw your email earlier. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. We still have a few people hopping in here.
My hair is doing what it wants to do. Y'all ignore. It's having a curly moment.
If you're, I feel like most people in this webinar are probably joining from Wisconsin. Maybe not, but Dr. KayLa is in a warmer, more humid area than we are. She's joining us from Houston, Texas. So um, we're kind of all dealing with opposite climates here. I would take frizzy hair over what we're dealing with here, to be honest.
I hear you.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to the first Empowered Families webinar series, the first one of the new year of 2026. Um, we're very excited to have you all joining us. And we're very excited to have Dr. KayLa partnering with us for this webinar. So first of all, if you're unfamiliar with this webinar series or unfamiliar with our organization, Wisconsin Family Ties, we're a statewide parent peer specialist organization. We are a parent peer specialist network, and we work with parents and caregivers all over the state of Wisconsin um, who are raising children with challenges such as behavioral, developmental, or mental health challenges. And part of our mission is providing free and accessible educational opportunities for the community. And we're so, so grateful for people like Dr. KayLa, um, who are willing to partner with us to help educate and facilitate conversations that bring parents and caregivers, as well as healthcare providers and system facilitators together. Um, so, our topic today is about cultural proficiency. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. KayLa. You are all muted. We will have time for a Q&A sort of open discussion at the end of the webinar. So as you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm also going to put Dr. KayLa's website and information in the chat as well. But yeah, as questions arise, feel free to put them in the chat. And then towards the end, if we want to have some dialogue, I can manually unmute people if you're able to raise your hand. There's like a button with a hand that you can click to raise your hand. Oh, Angie's already. Yeah, Angie just did it, if anybody saw that. So you didn't have anything to say, Angie, did you? I just allowed your mic if you want to unmute.
No, I was testing it.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Okay. Is the PowerPoint still up for you, Dr. KayLa?
It is. Can you not see it?
I think it went away for me, but that might just be on.
Can someone else let me know if they can see me moving about?
Yeah, Kathleen has her hand up.
Yep.
So.
Okay, great.
Okay, perfect. All right, take it away. Thank you all so much.
All righty. Thank you guys so much for being here. I only see a few faces in my gallery. If you are unable to be on camera, that's totally fine. But if you can get on, I would love to see your beautiful face. I really, really would. So first things first, I would love to know what people do. So if you could go into the chat, tell me what it is you do. Are you here as a parent? Are you a social worker? Are you a teacher? I would love to see what's in the room with me. Got a foster mommy. Hello, foster mommy. You're awesome. Parent peer specialist. All right, all the superstars are in the room. Comprehensive community services administrator. All right. Loving it. Okay. Youth Justice Intensive Service Support. That's pretty cool. Oh, I love it. I love it. Everybody that's in the room right now is phenomenal. Let's just say that. You're doing beautiful things. You have amazing hearts. And I know that you love the work you do and you're making a difference. So love it. Keep being wonderfully you. So like Caitlin mentioned, our chat today is about cultural proficiency. And we're going to talk about the teens. The teens need us. They need us and need us and need us in every aspect. It may sometimes feel like they are into a space where they're a little bit more self-sufficient, which is probably true. Most of them at this point should probably know how to wash their own clothes. They should know how to cook some kind of food. They should know how to dress themselves and do the basic things. However, there are some more things that we can do just in general to better support them. So let's kind of dig into what that means. Why does cultural proficiency matter? First things first, does anyone know what cultural proficiency really means? Have you heard this before? Have you talked about it with someone? You can say so in the chat. If anything comes to mind, what does that mean? No ideas? More familiar with cultural competency. Okay, that's fair. So I can speak to that too. When it comes to culture in general, there are these levels that we go through. At the most basic level, we think about unawareness. We think about biases. We think about what it means to be different at a table. And it kind of just goes up this scale of awareness and implementation. So by the time we get to the top of cultural proficiency, we've gone from all of those different phases. We are learning so much about what people are facing, how people are leading their lives, the gaps in their support system. And at that level, we have created a system to get us around that. So not only are we being aware and maybe tapping into what it is that we can do to support, we've created a whole system. So when something comes up, we have the ability to go into this toolbox of sorts to say, okay, This is what's happening. I have this tool in my box. Let me go grab this thing because it works well for this situation. That doesn't mean we have all the answers, but it does mean that we've created such a strong system that is there to create true support, true sustainability, and really help us to open our eyes and be very in tune with what people are facing, no matter how hard it is. So, why does this matter? First things first, every kid wants to be seen. That does not mean they want you to see their beautiful new clothes that they got. That doesn't mean that they want you to applaud them. That means they literally want you to see them, who they are, what they stand for, what they believe, those things that are true core to them. And sometimes, even as adults, that's something that we crave. It just is. We want people to see that we are more than some walking, talking bag of meat. We are not that. We're multifaceted people, and kids are too. So we have to think about that. They deserve respect. They deserve a safe space. They deserve people that are going to be there and say, hey, I see you. I know that you're struggling a little bit right now. So let's talk about that and really be in the mud with them. Beyond this, culture shapes how children understand themselves and others, and it does. If we think about what it means to have culture, what does that include? Music, food, clothing, language, religion. There's so many things that are in there, and they want to be understood. Now, what does that mean to be truly understood? Does that mean that we step into this place where we know everything under the sun? No, obviously. But it does mean we have some ability to kind of be in the room with them and express empathy when something is challenging them in their space. We don't have to get it, we just have to be present. When families talk openly about identity, kids become more confident and resilient. 100% true. We live in a world now where a lot of things have gone far beyond taboo, far beyond. There's things that we want to discuss. There's things that we may even be experiencing ourselves, but it's like, where is that safe space to be able to talk about the stuff? Where do we go to get our information? Where do we go to support ourselves, let alone how are we going to support these kiddos? We got to find something. And so that starts with us having a conversation, talking to the child, whether it is your child, your grandchild, someone that you're supporting. I don't care if it's someone at church, it doesn't matter. You need to be able to sit down at the table, as I call it. I like to call it table talk. That's where you get real. You're at home, you can be that honest self. You sit at that table with that person and you have the hard conversation. You ask, what is it that you need? What can I do to support you? Why do things feel so challenging for you right now? What's really going on? Let me know. Be raw. These conversations about that truth are huge. People so often find it easier to put themselves in a box. Say, okay, this is my box. This is where I'm staying. I know where everything is. I'm safe, sound, comfortable, fine. But in this box, can you be true to yourself? Can you wear the clothing that you want? Can you speak the languages that are native to you? Can you? You have to be able to talk about these things. That is your truth. That is the identity. And when we have those conversations, we not only strengthen the relationship between us and whoever that person is on the other side of the table, an amazing child, we are creating a deeper character in them. We're helping them to evolve as humans, not just in the now, not just to say, okay, I feel great, but you are literally helping them to shape their lives. Cultural understanding supports mental health, school success, and strong relationships. I had a very interesting conversation with a school district recently. We were talking about different things that the community needed. We were looking at mentorship. We were looking at conferences for girls, these big things that seemed pivotal. But when it came to understanding, where does this match up with academics? Where does this match up with what it is the community actually needs? There was dissociation, not on my part. I'm not being ugly, I'm just sharing an example. Sometimes we have to understand that the things that are happening inside of us are real to the world. The same goes for a child. No matter how old they are, it is real to the individual. And we have to be able to say, okay, this is what's happening right now. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. This is you hearing from the child. This is uncomfortable. I'm not happy. So and so said that, they hate that I'm always wearing bows in my hair. I'm just giving something crazy. I'm always wearing bows in my hair and they just hate it. And now I don't want to wear bows anymore. What does that mean? Does that mean just in the moment that we're talking about hair bows? No. We've stepped into identity and we've stepped into a person's truth. So we have to pay attention to these things to ever get past cultural competency, because cultural competency is like, it's mid. It's right in that middle point where you're like, okay, I get it. I know people are different. That's about it. It's acknowledgement at best. But to really get to a space where you're like, okay, let's make a difference here, you got to get deep into it. You got to be willing to have the conversations. You just do. What cultural proficiency means in families. My first note was learning about your child's culture and how it shapes their lives. So I'm going to use me as the example. Throughout this, I'm going to pretend I'm the child, just so you're aware. My culture, I am a Black and Mexican woman. I live in Houston, Texas. I grew up in a single parent household. My mother is Black. I did not meet my father until I was an adult. I learned Black culture. I later in my adulthood learned Mexican culture by my choice, by my curiosity. Now, does that mean that because I didn't learn the Mexican part of my ancestry, about my identity, that I didn't carry it with me? No. I still had my curiosity. I still wanted to be able to say, this is me. I wanted to embrace whatever that was. So I learned the language. I learned the music. I learned the dances. I learned the food. I learned it and I consumed it, and it became a part of me. Now, that's not saying I'm walking around with a plate of tacos, but that means that I have a part of me that is living and breathing inside of me in everything I do, in the conversations I hold with people, in the way that I address challenges, in the way that I support people, in the way that I see people. It's shaping me and it's shaping everyone around me. Same goes with that child. Everything that's a part of them, every single thing you think of that makes them true to who they are, they're walking with it. Respecting differences in your home and community. That can be a hard one, and I understand. Anytime that you go, let's say you go to the grocery store, is there only one type of person that you're going to see? No. Is there only one type of fruits that you're going to see? No. You have to understand at some level that no matter where you are, what you do, who you communicate with, there are going to be differences. We, again, do not have to know or fully comprehend these differences, but we do have to be aware of them. That's love, period. You can think about a loving relationship with your partner or past partner, future partner, whoever it may be. What does that look like to embrace who they are, good, bad, the ugly, through sickness and in health, so to speak? What does that really look like? It looks like challenges. It looks like amazing adventures. It looks like love. It looks like arguments. It looks like so many different things because every person is so very different. Traumas that we experience, moments of resilience that we have, things that we connect to in our own wisdom, it's all so different from person to person. So we have to respect that, honor that, and it has to be the same with the person in the grocery store with you. It has to. It has to be the same with a child, understanding they are very different from you. Yes, you may have birthed that child. Yes, you may have been their teacher for 3 years in a row, whatever it is, but that doesn't mean that you know absolutely everything about the fiber of their being. They are still different, and we have to respect that. Being willing to learn, ask questions, and grow together. I can understand how this one's very, very hard. I really can. A lot of times we are creatures of habit. We get stuck in our ways. We say, hey, we know this thing, that's it, period, the end. But being rigid is not helpful. It's not. You have to be malleable. You have to be willing to bend so that you can really make a difference, that you can really step into a place, even within your own emotional intelligence, and say, hey, I was talking to my child about bullying yesterday. And when they said that Exodus was being so mean to them, I was like, oh my goodness, who's Exodus? I'm going up to that school right now. Was that helpful? This is you literally reflecting back to you. Was this helpful for me to do that? Not necessarily. Of course, we want to be protective. We want to help. We want to do the thing, but there's ways to do that. So you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to ask those tough questions, like I mentioned a minute ago. I noticed you've been a little quiet recently. What's going on? Tell me the truth. It's okay. This is a safe space. And you have to be willing to do that on both ends for yourself and for the child, no matter the role that you're in. Maintaining a space where children can bring their whole selves. Theoretically, we're not able to bring part of ourselves in a physical sense. But like I mentioned a minute ago, we put ourselves in those boxes, we compartmentalize ourselves. So we have to create a space where children can say, I know that Miss So and so is okay when I wear mismatched socks, that one has polka dots and one has Halloween on it, even though Halloween was 6 months ago. I know that I can go down the hall and be singing my favorite song, and Mr. So and so might be singing it with me. I know that I can go out to the park and know that my mom is going to be right there with me, being mindful, being attentive, and making sure that her baby's okay. The basic things. But even beyond that, we have to be able to say that it's okay for me to be in the skin I'm in. And nobody's worried enough to judge me to the point that I can't go to my safe space and know that I'm okay. That safe space is critical, so critical. When we don't have that at home, guess where we don't have it as well? In the world. Identity development. This is huge. I don't care which way you'd like to look at it. It's just huge. If we understand what it means to have an identity, like I've mentioned the things, cultural, religion, language, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, we understand that there is an identity within every person. No matter your age, no matter where you've come from, there are so many things that make you who you are. We have to go deeper than that, though. We have to understand that even within one home to the next home, I don't care if the person at the corner has the exact same background. Let's say the person at the corner is Colombian and the person that is right next door happens to be Colombian too. That doesn't mean their households run the same. That doesn't mean they have the same religions. That does not mean that they have the same morals, the values, anything. So we have to understand that there's so many different little teeny tiny things that come together to create a person. And it evolves over time. It does. The older we are, the more things we're exposed to, the more things that we experience, things evolve. But we have to remember there's still character in there. And that's where us adults come into play. We have to be aware enough within ourselves to say, I'm struggling. I don't understand how to help my baby because I didn't go through that same thing. I don't understand how to help little Johnny because every time that he tells me something, it's so foreign to me. I don't even know what that means. I just hurt for them. So we have to see them as little people that are so multifaceted that need us in every single way. And they have this identity that must be nourished and nurtured, both. Children grow through exploring who they are and what matters to them. That's just the way that is. Just as an example, a good one. Think of What is one of your favorite songs? Just think about it real quick. I am a song person. I will listen to any kind of song from anywhere. I don't care what language it's in, just will. One song that I don't know, it's been in my head for days and I keep listening to it and it makes utterly no sense. I don't know how many people on here saw the movie Beaches with Bette Midler, but I cannot get the album out of my head. And I keep thinking about this one particular song. And I think it's going to rain today. That's the name of it. Anybody wants to listen to the song. But my point in thinking about what it means to hear something like that, some kind of song just in the minute that feels so good, whether it's something that's comforting, whether it's something that makes you cry, something that makes you laugh, something that makes you just want to open the windows and just sing out to the world, whatever the thing is, it's shaped you at some pivotal point in life, even if it was just 5 minutes ago. Something happened that is helping you to evolve within yourself just by that moment. So, guess what's happening with kids? Every single moment, something's happening. Something new is being learned, something different's being talked about, somebody's being negative. There's always something happening. And they're exploring and they're learning and they're creating these new thinking pathways in their brains every time something new is happening. We have to be aware of that. Family support helps kids build a strong identity and good coping skills. 100%. 100%. We have to have these almost teams within our homes, almost teams in the workplace, because every person in the room is going to bring something that's fabulous, something that's empowering, something that's thought provoking. There's going to be something there. But like it says, I'll say it a million times over because it is so true. It takes a village to raise a child, not just mom, not just dad, not just the favorite teacher. There are so many different people that have to be present to give the child the best support that they can have. And having critical support like that shapes the world around them. It not just shapes that moment, it's not just shaping the room that they're in. You're creating a whole new environment within them that's saying, this is safe. I'm comfortable here. I can be myself. I can grow in this moment and talk about my challenging things. Feeling accepted at home lowers stress and helps them to do better in school. Stress is so powerful. And we know this. We've seen it. I don't care how many books you've read, or if you are a researching kind of person like myself, I love to dig in and find out all kinds of things over the years. We understand that stress creates so much impact in so many ways, whether we're talking about sleep, whether we're talking about aging, we're talking about nutrition, we're talking about weight management. There's so many things that happens when stress is present. So if we can create a space where stress is minimized, we can't necessarily just eradicate stress. We're human, life happens. But if we can create a space.
I think you got muted, Dr. Kayla. I can't hear you anymore. Is anyone else having trouble hearing her?
Yeah, she went out. I can't hear her.
Okay. It was like there and then you were gone. Hold on one second. Let me try. Here, try saying something now. Can't hear you still. That's so weird. I wonder what happened.
Now?
Yes, now you're good. Sorry to interrupt you.
Still can't hear me?
You're good now. We can hear you now.
Okay, good. Not sure what happened or why, but we're good.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Things happen. That's technology. You gotta love it. So, yeah, creating an environment where we feel like there is so much of a safer, comfortable, more at ease feeling is necessary for all of us. I mean, you can think about your home just in general. When you come home, you want to have your comfy things. You want to know that your robe is there, your soft fuzzy slippers are there. Your favorite meal is available in the kitchen. We have these tiny things that create lower stress within ourselves, and we have to think about that when it comes to anything that's challenging in life. We have to make sure that we are doing what we can to best support these kids. And sometimes that means we put ourselves on the back burner. Sometimes that means that we have to disperse in some kind of way, whatever bias that we're having in the moment, so that we can do better. Okay, so there's a few polls in here. Hopefully, you all can see this. If not, I will read it to you. So, poll number one, when you hear the word identity, what comes to mind? Option A is feeling accepted. Option B is knowing who I am. Option C, culture or family background. And option D is future goals. So you can respond in the chat and let's see what we're thinking. B, one C. Okay. What if I say everyone is wrong? Yes, it's B, it's C, it's all of them. All of them. When you even if you think about looking in the mirror, when you look in the mirror, let's say you're brushing your teeth. You're in the mirror, you're looking in. Are you only looking at one of your eyes? Are you only noticing that you have one ear? No, all those things. All those things are a part of you. And it's not just the physical things that we're saying. Everything that's happening inside of us is an identity. You can have an identity with your girlfriend. That same identity, you're not going to take that to work. It doesn't belong there. You can have an identity that is a person that loves to be in the kitchen. You love getting in there. You like making peach cobbler. That's your thing. You always go in there, you make peach cobbler. Now, can you take a peach cobbler to the grocery store? No. It would be a little weird unless you got your favorite cashier. Then we get that. But I'm just saying, these things can't be carried, but they're still a part of us. So we have to see that feeling accepted, yes, 100%, that is a part of a necessary thing within our identity. We have to make sure that we feel like we're being accepted around our friends, around our loved ones, etc. If we're not feeling that, we want to make a change. Knowing who I am, you have to know who you are. That means you change from day to day, but you still need to know who that person is. That's identity, culture, family. Yes, big parts of who we are. Part, future goals. That's even a part of your identity. It's something that only you can do. I say this and I love this thought so much because everybody can see it. When you go in the grocery store, is there only one type of jams, jellies, and preserves on that aisle? Nope. There was not one person that was given that recipe. There is not one way to put in the grapes, and then you have to put them at this temperature, and then we have to make sure that we're growing them in 98-degree weather, and that's not how that works. Not at all. Everyone has a goal, something that we're looking forward to. We're also very different. And these goals, these things that we create, only we can do them. No one else can do them the way we do them. And the same goes with your identity. Only you can be you. Period. The end. Embracing cultural differences at home. Children notice cultural differences early, even when adults don't talk about them. One example, when a child is born into a Spanish speaking house,
what's more than likely the language that they're going to be speaking right away? Spanish. When a child is brought up in a certain church from birth, let's say they got baptized there. I'm just giving an example. I'll get off the religion thing, but I'm just giving you an example. We can see it. Child goes to this specific church. More than likely, what's going to be their religion? Not to say it can't change, but it's what they're exposed to. All these things, tiny things, the way that we talk, the clothes that we wear. I mean, it's all very, very different. If we go into some kind of extreme thinking here, we can say if you were thinking about going to a festival that is a certain religion, let's say it's a Vietnamese festival, what might you see there? What types of food might you see? What language would you hear being spoken? What clothing may you see at some particular space because maybe there's a performance of sort? It's culture. And kids see that from the beginning. It's a part of them. Talk openly. Talking openly helps remove fear and confusion. If we put a muzzle, so to speak, on ourselves when we are trying to help our child understand who they are, what are they going to hear? Nothing. What would they see? Whatever the world shows them. How would they create their persona, their truth? Lots of blanks here, right? So we have to be able to talk about this stuff. The fear. If there is fear within a child, no matter what it is, with the crazy climate that we're in within our government and stuff, I'm not going to dig into that, but I'm going to say this. If there's an element of fear within a person that is just doing the right thing, that's hardworking, that is being there for their family, that's an upstanding citizen in their community, but there's still fear behind it, just like I leaned back. Don't you think that something might be feeling kind of heavy, kind of holding them back? A little fear, maybe not even for themselves, but for somebody else that they love. And fear, no matter what it looks like, it has to be understood because it's real. I might say, hey, KayLa N, did you know that the boogeyman is standing right behind you? I see it. Did Caitlin see it? Nope. I'm scared of the boogeyman. Caitlin's laughing. So, I mean, it's an understanding of a fear. It's confusion. It's my perspective, but it's still real because I just told Caitlin I'm scared of the boogeyman. So now she knows, and we have to be there to support. Same thing goes with our kids, no matter what it may look like. Same with confusion. If there's a misunderstanding that the child doesn't understand why little Bobby keeps talking about, them having an accent, we need to be able to talk to our baby and help them to understand, hey, everybody sounds a little bit different from state to state, country to country. We all have differences. And I know that's hard to understand because you haven't seen it before, but let me help you look at it like this. Let's listen to a song. Let's watch a movie together. Let's read this book that I heard about. Let's find the support that I can give you so that you can see the world through a different set of eyes because it's very helpful. It teaches you to love and to see that differences are important. Sharing traditions, stories, foods, it builds cultural pride. Like I mentioned, peach cobbler. I'm a lady of the South, and honey, we love peach cobbler. We do. I don't care where you are. Somebody is making some kind of variety of a peach cobbler. Now, if I didn't tell you that, and let's say you just moved to the United States, we're just pretend. You just moved to the United States, I'm telling you, hey, you've got to have some peach cobbler. You just don't understand. It's so buttery. Apples are just so soft. The cinnamon, the sugar, it's divine. It's beautiful. I've just told you something that has opened your eyes. You had no awareness of what this thing was, but now you know if you go to the South, you're going to go find some peach cobbler. That's me telling the truth. That's me sharing something that is so unique, so specific, and yet it can be so valuable in a moment. Traditions, the things that we are carrying on in our lives, those things matter. You can even think about the simplest of things, Christmas. I love Christmas, so I'll talk about Christmas any day again. The things that we do on Christmas, whether it's hanging your stockings, You are a person that always has to have a 10-foot blue spruce. You are the person that always brings out the scrapbook, the photo book, because you want to show your little one, this is who so and so was. No matter what they may look like, every time we are sharing something, we are pouring back into a person. It's the idea of the seed. We are planting the seed, watching it grow, so to speak, nourishing it, giving it life, giving it nutrition, and we're creating a new outcome. Pardon me. When parents when parents lead with curiosity, kids feel safe being themselves. What does curiosity mean? Get curious, be thinking. You're trying to figure things out. You're exploring, you're learning. The more you do that, the better you can support somebody else because we don't know everything. Real life scenario. I picked this picture, like I just mentioned, Christmas. Ta-da! Christmas hair. So, kid says, I don't want to stand out. They're worried about how they're looking different. Yes, the kid loves Christmas, absolutely loves it. Always finds some kind of way to make something that's beautiful that makes her feel so amazing, so magical, so herself. You ask, what made you feel unsure today? It's an open ended question. We've created a space where they can say whatever they want. You're not saying yes or no to the thing, it's real. You remind them you never have to hide who you are at home. You encourage that child, no matter the scenario, they're coming into your workplace, they're coming into your office, they're coming into your home because it's your kid's best friend. You remind them you can be who you are here. It's safe. It is okay. Excuse me. Bring culture into everyday life, music, stories, meals, languages, in every way that you can. It might be a very good idea to treat the child and treat the scenario like it is a puzzle, or like it's a mosaic, or like it is some stained glass, beautiful thing that has lots of pieces to it. And every time you bring a new piece in, something beautiful is coming together. See the puzzle. You're missing that corner piece. You're missing that right ear on that gnome in the puzzle. You're putting together these pieces that matter in every way. And every time you contribute, every time you talk about culture in some aspect, you are opening that door and you are bringing together this beautiful picture. Help them practice words they can use in tough moments. This is critical. While we don't want to create anxiety, we don't want to put them in a position where they're like, okay, let me pull out my Rolodex in my brain, so to speak, and figure out what it is that I'm supposed to say. We do want to give them an opportunity to have some cues, some prompts, some ways to stand up for themselves, to be a forward thinking person, etc., so that they can create a moment that is much more effective for them. We have to help them do that because they don't come with that in their minds naturally. We help them create that. Creating emotionally responsive environments. Kids need to know their feelings will be heard without judgment. Okay, I'm pretending here. I'm the kid. I've just come home. Dad, today I was so angry. I couldn't believe that Miss Sheila was being so mean to me. And she said that if I didn't pass my math test, I was going to fail the class. And she made fun of me and she said that I was stupid. Now, step back. Parent. Again, the parent jumps in like the mama bear. I gotta do something. What's wrong? Papa bear in this experience. We need to be able to step into the mud with them, hear what is going on, and remember that to anything that is being said, there is a his side, a her side, a truth, right? Three parts. So we have to be able to weave in and out and hear these different things that are being experienced and let the kid know, hey, I hear you. Your teacher should never call you stupid. I don't care what it is that you've done. If you are being present, if you're being a kind person, nobody should be calling you stupid. No one. We have to be able to give them the space to say that and then encourage them through the moment. offer them a tool to say, maybe we should have a talk with Miss Sheila. It sounds like there might be some challenges going on. Maybe there's something more we don't know. So let's have an open conversation right here. What's been going on in class recently? Has there been something else that happened? What happened? And have that conversation and let the kid know that no matter how gigantic the scenario may be, how mean, how rude, how maybe not sounding to you, but so difficult that situation is, it is a safe space. They can be heard in that moment, and you're not going to judge them and say, well, maybe you did something wrong. Maybe it's not Miss Sheila. Maybe it's you. Maybe you are not doing the best that you can do. Is that the time for that? Maybe not necessarily. While there might be some truth, remember the his, hers, the truth. There may be some truth in there, but that might not be effective for that moment. So we need to provide a space that is open, engaging, present, not being the helicopter. Oh, I'm going to fix it. I know everything, and I'm going to solve this and whatever. But being present enough to express the empathy and to help create a solution. Naming emotions helps lower stress and create safety. We got to do a lot better with this one, just as people. There was a time I heard this phrase so many times, it agitated me to no its end. I'm feeling some kind of way. What does that mean? It's open. There's nothing. There's no feeling. There's no way for me to relate to the person if they're saying I'm feeling some kind of way. We have to be able to say, I feel this because of this. And then we can get in the mud with the kid, so to speak. The kid says, today I'm really, really angry. All right, let's get in the mud. What's going on? Well, I'm frustrated and I'm tired of talking about it. Okay, we got in the mud. You have to create the scenario where you can have that open conversation, get in the mud and feel it. Really, really feel it so that you can create something better. That's the only way to do it. You can't do it from standing outside the mud somewhere back in the trees and saying, I see you're over there stuck in the mud, but there's nothing I can do. I see it. It's happening. It's real, but I can't help you. That's you can't do anything with that. Not helpful. Cultural identity becomes stronger when a child feels understood. We all want to be understood. Now, does that mean that everywhere you go, every conversation that you have, every meeting that you enter into and you say, hey, I have an idea, does that mean that everyone around you is going to understand what you're saying? No. However, we have to be able to say, I'm comfortable in doing this. I feel better because I can be myself. I feel stronger because I can create a new space that only I can create. That's real. It's honest. And it literally makes the world go round. If you have a table, imagine a huge conference table. Let's say it has 32 seats. Is every person at that table valuable? Theoretically, yes. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the room. Same goes with the kids. They have to understand everything that is at that table of their life is important. And because of that, they are stronger. They see themselves in a different light. They can step into the world and be okay with everything that they face. Yes, it's hard. There will be hills and battles and everything else. But they become a little bit stronger when they understand that every part of them is important. Listening first before teaching or correcting builds trust. An example that you can use for yourself if you don't already know this. When you're having a conversation with someone and you say, I really want to talk to you about something that happened at work earlier today. And it's a little challenging because I had a child come in and say that, they're facing what I think may be an abusive home. Listen, understand that the person that you're talking to may be truly, truly invested and they want to help you, but if they shut off their sound, if they decide that, I don't know what to do before you even start talking, what are we creating? We're creating a wall. So they're literally running into this wall. The same thing happens if you start to talk to the child right when they say, hey, this is going on and I'm frustrated and blah, blah. If you just jump right in and you say, oh, I know the answer, and then we're going to do this, and then I know what happened when I did this, and you're not actually engaging, that's a problem. So, what you need to do in your mind, even if you're not saying this out loud, you need to ask, do you want me to listen? Do you want me to give you advice? Or do you want me to help you to create some kind of a scenario after I'm being the shoulder for you to cry on? You have to think about those things because every part matters. Tools for parents and caregivers. The two-door check-in. Do you want me to listen or help you solve the problem? Just what I was saying. You got to choose. You got to be in the moment and ask the question. Culture and action. Choose one weekly moment to celebrate your family's heritage. This can go with somebody that is working with a child. This doesn't even have to be your child. Create a situation where the kid is able to look at who they are. Let's say they have drawn out a map of the world, and you're saying, okay, what do you know about where you're from? Let's think about that. Oh, I remember you told me that your parents were from Germany. I remember that you said that you learned how to speak Portuguese before you spoke English. Think about what those different pieces mean for that child and tap into it. The more that we nourish what we know as the truth, the better things will be. And I know I keep saying that, but we want to create better outcomes. We want to create sustainable, long lasting outcomes. And the way to do that is tapping into the inside of the person and helping it to blossom. A belonging question. Where did you feel most like yourself today? Again, an open ended question. You allow the child to speak their truth, whatever that may be. Story sharing. Talk about memories that shaped your values and strengths. What did that look like? How did that happen? Was it going to grandma's house and telling her, grandma, what did you do when blah, blah, blah happened? Is it that? Did that help shape their reality? Having these conversations, creating these stories, and sharing the truth matters. Next poll. What area feels strongest in your home right now? Letter A is open conversations. B is cultural pride. C is family routine. And D is emotional support. Open conversations. I love that. Good job. Someone said E. Someone's learning. C and D. I love it. I love it. All of these things are valuable. No matter what it is that is your truth within your home, every single one is valuable. And you have to remember that. Don't be hard on yourself if you haven't gotten to the point where you are helping that child understand cultural pride, or if you've introduced a routine to help them to navigate through the day. Hey, come over here, son. I remember you said you had a hard week last week. Today's Friday. Tell me, what was your rose and your thorn? I.e., what was your beautiful thing that happened and your challenging thing? It's routine. It's a part of the Friday. We create these spaces. So don't be hard on yourself if you haven't learned all these things. You can navigate through them 100%. You can. Strengthening family-child connections. Children feel closer when adults listen with care and patience. We have to create that space. It is a bubble, so to speak. The child is floating around, and you want to make sure that you are doing what you can to listen with intent and compassion and empathy. Be in the mud. Small routine, like I mentioned, that Friday routine, a meal, something that you always create. You can say, okay, I'm Italian, and on Wednesdays, we're going to make from scratch pasta. We're going to create it right here because it's a part of who we are, and I want you to know you and love yourself because you're amazing. Those routines, those small things, they all make a difference. They're beautiful moments in time. Asking open questions helps kids speak honestly about culture and identity. We've hashed this over a few times. I'm hoping you're getting it. You got to ask those questions that lead to an answer that is comfy, free flowing, and not just yes or no. The real open ended questions. Showing pride in who they are protects them during hard moments. Being strong. Every time, almost every time, I do a webinar, I do a presentation, I'm wearing something that is cultural. This is African, handmade by an African woman right down the street, and I love it. It helps me to tap right back into who I am. Now, is it always African wear? Nope. Sometimes I have on my Mexican outfits too, and they make me feel good. They give me strength. They help me to remember, hey, it's a wonderful thing to be me. It is. And it's not cocky. It's my truth. I'm glad to be in the skin that I'm in. Got to do that for our kids too. Help them to do that and be strong. Last poll. Which tool will you try first? Two-door check-in, culture in action, some kind of a belonging question, or another idea for tonight? Be open. What would it be? Lots of A's. Very good. I love that. Love it. I love it. I'm glad y'all are doing some thinking too. I love it. So good. Lots of A's and C's. I love that. Like I said, we can't be hard on ourselves if we don't know how to do all these things perfectly. You have support. Excuse me. You can always come ask me a question. Hey, Dr. KayLa, you said blah, blah, blah back on January 21st, and I wanted to know more about what you meant with a belonging question. What does that mean? Ask the question. We need support. Like I said, we don't know the answers, but don't beat yourself up if you can't do all of these at one time. The point is, you try something, you set a good example, you learn from it, teach yourself something new, you grow, stretch, get beyond that normal comforting space, and do something that's a little bit different to create that different outcome. Closing thoughts here. Culture proficiency is a daily practice of love, learning, and courage. We don't achieve cultural proficiency overnight, no matter how much we wanted to, no matter if we want to create some perfect system where nobody has to hurt, no child feels like they are not being seen or valued or respected or understood. But the little things we do get us closer and closer over time. And those small things, small moments, create that. Your presence and support shape who your child becomes. You've got to be present. You've got to get in the mud. You just do. I know it's not comfortable. I know you don't want to see when a child is hurting or feeling misunderstood or challenged in any way. We want to help as much as we can. But sometimes we just need to be present. Just that presence, knowing, hey, this is going on. I know that I can go talk to so and they're going to be right there with me. And I can get through this because I know I'm not alone. That's a game changer. When families honor identity, children stand stronger in every space. We've got to hold their truths to be true because they are. They are walking, talking, multifaceted beings, no matter how old they are. And they have to be embraced in their truths in every season of life. So as you walk forward, I want you to continue to think about what it means to create cultural proficiency, even with one person. What does that really, really look like? And every time that you are in a challenging moment with a child, your kiddo, person that you're working with, whoever it may be in the room. Yes, we want to fight. We want to be that mama bear. We want to have that bias because it's natural to us. I got to protect you. I know you. I know all the answers. But it's not true. The more that we are present, the more that we are paying attention, the more that we are choosing to grow beyond our spaces of comfort, the better things will be. Questions, anyone?
Feel free to put your questions in the chat. And I will also give you all the ability to unmute yourselves. I will be able to send verification of attendance. I don't know, Dr. KayLa, how do you feel about sharing the slides post?
That's fine with me.
Okay. Then, Chris, if you have my email address and want to send me an email, I can get you those slides after the webinar. Everyone should be able to unmute themselves if anybody wants to raise their hand to ask a question. The training is being recorded, and it should be sent to all of you when it's over. If for some reason it's not, feel free to reach out to me, and I can get that sent to you.
Thanks for the little love down there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all.
I created some prompts on here just to maybe drive some thinking. I know it gets uncomfortable to sometimes ask the questions. So if there's anything that pops up in your head, feel free to put it in the chat. You can visit me on my website, send me a message on there. But I want you to know that it's okay to ask the question 100%. Nobody came into a place of parenting, into a place of work with some kind of a manual with all the answers.
Laura, go ahead if you're able to unmute yourself.
I want to say thank you for this because I do have a child that is actually adopted, and we've had problems with elopement from the home, and just it's a lot of cultural things going on. And I think I want to bring this to the parents and to my team to support my little person. So thank you for this. I appreciate this.
You're so welcome. I'm glad to hear that. I know it's critical that we have the right support in the right moment. And sometimes it looks a little different. Sometimes it just means that we need that one tiny thing that just gives a little nudge, a little bit of awareness, a little bit of support, and it makes a difference. So I'm glad that you were here to receive that and something pricked your heart. So whatever we can do to continue to support you throughout this, got you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oop, there's questions over here. How do you help kids who are negative about their heritage due to stressed relationships with that parent? Sometimes, as parents, as people that are supporting a child, we don't have the answers. Like I told you at the beginning, I was raised by a single parent. My mom never told me that I couldn't learn something or that I couldn't be something. She allowed it, she encouraged it, the questions were asked. So sometimes it just means that we are that person that bridges the gap. We don't have to know all the answers, but we can do what we can as adults with our tools, with our knowledge, with our connections to be able to support that kid, no matter what that looks like. I understand how it can be when negativity steps in the room with any kind of a strained relationship in parenting. 100% get it. But we have to do what we can to create some kind of support structure. So if that means that the child is saying, I don't want to be this because so-and-so said that, whatever. We have to figure out, okay, why is this happening in the moment? What can I do to understand better? What can I do to learn first and foremost before I help to educate or to support or to create something new with my child? So it's a lot of inner work, and the way that I see that as is going from a space of your own emotional intelligence to character building. You gotta blend that together. Everything's gonna start with you. The kid's not gonna wake up one day and say, "Oh, today I feel like having tacos." No, that's not how that works. We have to create some kind of a system. And I hope, Marilee, that you have some support around you, that you know of some resources. If you don't, again, ask the questions, not just to me. There are plenty of people that are out supporting. So do what you can to help to bridge the gap. That's the best that we can do. Lots of love there. The next question, my child expressed issues in not knowing identity tonight in the way of gender. How would you start the conversation in this? When it comes to gender, we want to really think about what it means to express your truth. If we are talking pronouns, if we are talking about a person's physical anatomy, if we're talking about the way that a person is dressing, all of these things kind of tie into gender. But the biggest thing that's in there is the person's identity. So we want to know, what is it that the child is feeling? What is it that the child is experiencing that's making or that's cueing maybe an out of body kind of a feeling? So maybe the conversation isn't why. We never want the conversation to start with why or to be so hardcore in their face. Why are you doing this? I don't understand. And that's not right. And all that. To say it not so nicely. That's foolishness. That is foolishness. We want to be able to say, okay, I hear you. That sounds really heavy. What's going on, huh? I'm here for you. Simple as that. Back up. You don't need to go in there spoon feeding. Oh, I want you to do this and tell me what happened and blah, blah, blah. Step back. Ask the question, then step back. That is huge. It sounds so simple and yet so difficult because it is, but it's mandatory. We've got to be able to say, I have the empathy for you. I have the space. I have the wisdom for you, but I'm going to give you this microphone right now so that you can tell me your truth. And maybe some kind of way I can help you to walk through this. I'll get in the mud with you. That's how you start that. Ask the question and step back. The next person, Chris, my youngest, you're welcome, KayLa. My youngest 3-year-old girl and 4-year-old boy are mixed, trying to start on a better foot. Well, that's a statement, but I understand. Being of mixed identity, mixed race, mixed nationality, mixed ethnicity, however you would like to label it, it's difficult, but it's a beautiful thing. And just like anyone else, all those pieces that make us who we are a beautiful thing. They are a gift to the world. So for your mixed babies, Chris, whoever they are now and whoever they will be, I promise you they were going to be wonderful because you are seeking support, you are seeking some education, and you're doing what you can to nourish them. So keep doing that. Keep talking about all the beautiful things that make them who they are, whatever that may be. Having that open conversation, giving that kind of love, pouring it out from the beginning, it matters. It really, really, really matters. Trust me, I know. You got this. All right, Caitlin, you see anything else on your end, huh?
I do not. I'm going to put my email in the chat right now for anyone who has any follow-up questions. I can always forward those to Dr. KayLa. And then, like I said, if anyone's in need of slides or resources, if you don't receive the recording post-webinar, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening, and huge thank you to Dr. KayLa for being with us today and donating her time to educate our community. Please follow her. The screen there shows where she can be found. Her website is a great resource. She also has some awesome videos on YouTube, TikTok. She pretty much has something for everybody. So whatever platform you're on, there are more resources and stuff out there from her for you. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your week and stay warm, those of us who are in Wisconsin.
Yes, y'all take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.